Audio Jungle.
And Jackie, I'm curious for you too, right? So turning wrenches from a very early age and kind of working alongside your father and having him kind of show you the ropes. He was obviously enabling that exploration and that development of an interest in you that might not have happened otherwise, right? So I'm curious, who are some of the people that stand out to you in terms of supporters along the way, and like who was there to kind of like open the doors for you and not let bias or stereotypes get in the way.
Well, I'm the same as Jen. I had like some really, really good managers that were obviously saw potential where we're like, I get bored very easily. So if I'm doing the same thing over and over again, I would move and change careers. And they obviously seen that and were like, put me in other areas, did other things. And then obviously technical wise, I had a really great supervisor to get my electrical license, and he was amazing. And then from managers then on, I've had great managers that have supported me all through my career. And yeah, they've been really, really good. And I wouldn't have been able to get to where I've got to without them.
What do you think? I mean, what do you think's been really useful along the way, right? I mean, I guess I'm curious. Has it come up that the fact, do people even notice male versus female in your all's experiences, or like, and if so, how have you navigated that? Share with me what's occurred, because I'm coming at it from a very naive perspective, right? I've got the privilege of being male and being Caucasian, and I don't really understand, right? So I'm curious, like, what are the things that you all have run into along the way? Because I know I've got two daughters and a wife and a son, and I'm talking to my son all the time about, hey, these are the things that are messed up, right? I'm like, he was asking me the other day about pay, and like when did women get equal pay in the United States? And I said, well, they don't have it. I'm like, it's still not there. I'm like, so mom, when she goes to work, she makes 80% of what I make, even though she's doing the same job. And he's like, wait, what? So I digress a little bit there, but I am curious. Talk a little bit about the things that you all are experiencing or have experienced, and kind of what you've done to navigate through those. And either of you can kind of field that question.
Jen?
I was waiting for that. I would say, there's times that I'll have people go, instead of asking me, we'll go to people on my team, right? They're all male, right? And they just may assume that I just don't know about the product, or I don't know a fix of the product. And so I usually, I'm the manager of the team, so I usually let the manager, one of the managers on my team, answer. But I'll add a little bit in there and give a little bit of flavor. Hopefully they see that I know something, right? But I think after you get to know me, you realize it just by the questions that I ask. I don't try to really push it too much unless, somebody's maybe being very dismissive, right? And then that's hard for me to get past a little bit, right? So I try to show them in a nice way what I do know, without making it look a little overbearing, right? So, but most of the time, it's pretty rare. It's usually pretty generational, right? Younger generations are more accepting, I would say, than in the past, and maybe my generation or my father's generation, right? So I think it's coming, it's moving in the right direction, but I think you just have to handle it with grace, right? It's just like almost like handling a customer issue, right? You gotta listen a lot, and there's always reasons for that perspective. So you just have to weigh that. They may have had, maybe they don't know, right? They've never dealt with a woman in that area, or maybe they had a bad experience with a woman that was in a service position. So you just kind of have to take it with grace and not assume the worst. That's the way I look at it.
I think that's super interesting, because I think it is a on both sides, I think it's about representation, right? If you've
For
not,
sure.
if as Jennifer and Jackie, as you all were growing in your career, if you weren't seeing independent, capable women in positions that you were kind of aspiring to, you would never go for that. And
Right.
so, on the male side, if they're not used to working with women in those roles, they're not. And frankly, like men, as the science would say, are pretty like one lane. We're like we're on a path and we're doing the one path, and we're like until you show us something different, we're like we don't know that exists.
Yeah,
So
that's true.
yeah, I think representation is a huge piece of this conversation.